off work, travel is not easy, and this is really important that we're all here together with each other in person. We can only do so much online or talk with people face to face. It makes a big difference. So we're glad we can do this conference here. So we're going to end this weekend with a recognition ceremony for all the stolen lives at the hands of the police, and all those lives who have been represented here this weekend, whose families have come together to continue to pursue the fight for justice and an end to police brutality. The lives stolen by the system represent so many things. They represent a system of violent oppression that is the United States, who has built its empire and maintained its power through white supremacy. Racism and exploitation manifested in many ways, but particularly through police terror of Black and other oppressed people. They represent the ongoing epidemic of police brutality in this country, exposing the notions of land of the free and liberty and justice for all as lies. They represent sons, daughters, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, loved ones and partners who had touched so many people and had so much life to live, only for it to be unjustly taken by this system at the hands of the pigs. And through you all here today, they represent the continued struggle for justice, the struggle of the people fighting for a world free of racist police violence. We know people had to leave early today. Not everybody who attended this conference could be with us. But we will go through the list of names of the stolen lives represented by the families over this weekend, and the families who wanted to be here but couldn't. If the family is present and willing, we will ask you to come up after we say your loved one's name to share a couple words in the front about who they were in life. In the interest of time, we just ask you to, share a couple thoughts, say what you want to say about not just your loved one, but also this weekend. So we will start by calling out the names of family members listed here. And again, if the family wants to come up, if they don't, the floor is yours. And then we're going to have the families with your flower frame posters, come up on the stage and sit there for the duration of the ceremony. If your loved one was not called on this list, please let us know, and we apologize in advance if that is the case. Let us know. We want to recognize your family here, and we want you to have this platform to say what you have to say about who they were. And after we say the name, we're going to respond as a group saying, "No more stolen lives." So when I say the name, we'll say, "No more stolen lives." So I'm gonna cut the mic, and if families want to come over and grab a flower, say your piece, place the flower, and then we'll walk you up on the stage, okay? So I'm gonna cut the mic.
No more stolen lives.
Ron Evans Jr.
No more stolen lives.
So many times, every day, just like they're shooting people, they are also using informants and others to do their dirty work, to keep their hands clean. Terrell was 26 years old. He loved music. He was funny. He was a mama's boy. No matter what, he had a big smile on his face. Terrell Evans Jr.
No more stolen lives.
Dexter Reed.
No more stolen lives.
Agnes Gallery.
No more stolen lives.
David Jackson Page.
No more stolen lives.
I'm representing. On behalf of Mother Christina Page, I honor today David Jackson Page, her son, killed by Colorado police.
No more
Terrence King Sr.
No.
more stolen lives.
Altery Pleasant.
No more stolen lives.
Ronald Johnson III.
No more stolen lives.
Antonio Kasim Armstrong.
No more stolen lives.
Antonio Kasim Armstrong was killed by 37 NYPD 37 Manhattan Harbor Squad. My baby was a leader. He was very loyal to not only friends and family, but to the community. Finding out after his death that he followed my steps in everything that I told him. Telling everyone about God and who he is. And if you don't have him, there's no reason living. Because you need God to get through this world. My baby was Courtney. He was the Joseph. And he had just turned 20. So he didn't get to live the life of a 23. He had 2 babies. So Lodi's had over babies, but it's a good and heartfelt feeling because they were just. But I just want to thank you for listening and allowing me to share this.
Rivera.
No more stolen lives.
Jason E. Scott.
No more stolen lives.
Jason Alderman.
No more stolen lives.
I know, you know what, because I'm just about.
On behalf of Judy Alderman and family, today I honor her son, Jason Alderman. And then on behalf of Jace's mom, Shanta, I honor today Jace also.
No more stolen lives.
Jorge Gomez.
No more stolen lives.
My name is Jeannie Lara. I'm the mother of Jorge Gomez. My son was murdered by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department on June 1st, 2020, while protesting against police brutality, murder, and violence. I am his voice. He will forever be my son, and I stand for him.
No more stolen lives.
Rocco Robinson.
No more stolen lives.
Hi everyone, my name is Samantha, this is my son Rocco Robinson. He was 19 years old, he was a very kind and loving child. He very, he was a child. He was killed by, Stockton Police Department in California in September. So it's been like 7 months, but he's a very loving, caring child, barely got his driver's license, first job. Never did that his own, so he's a mama boy and visit. And thank you for everyone too for being here supporting us. For the families of Man and Justice, and especially Nat and everyone from the Struggle Bay area, has been there from day one, and we truly appreciate it. And Rocco is, he'll be forever.
No
more stolen lives.
Peter Villalobos.
No more stolen lives.
I'm representing the family of Peter Villalobos, who was killed by Riverside Police Department earlier last year, June 20th. His family loves him deeply, and the stories that I know about him, he was his mother's favorite. She would sneak away with Peter. They would go on, snack runs together. He loved going fishing, and the family wants everyone to know that he was loved very deeply, and that he should still be alive today with his siblings, with his mom, and Buck Riverside Police Department.
That's right.
No
more stolen lives.
Andrew Pierce.
No more stolen lives.
knew, like, he was so polite at everything. He didn't, like, picture yourself behind the car, like, you sit in a cop car, and you getting all messed up and fucked up, and you asking the officer, please, I'm begging you, please. He said it 70 times within 17 minutes just to die right there, in the back of a police car, 1 minute before he got to the police station. And you see all this on the dash cam, bro. All of it. I can't breathe, yo. I can't breathe as a trigger. Stop giving us triggers. Because at the end of the day, they kill our loved ones, but we get stuck with PTSD, depression, anxiety. We get fucked by fucked up fucking politicians, fucked up fucking whack ass activists that take advantage of you and your stories, bro. Like, come on. Don't let, if you crying, I'm telling you now, families, okay? If you crying and they go behind you and they put a sign behind you, they're getting statements. They get this damn whack ass Hawk Newsom made $200,000 off an Android. I don't give a fuck about that, bro. I don't care. Like, yo, like, it is what it is. All I ask for is justice. That's what I want, bro. If you trying to be for the family, be for the family. Don't let nobody speak for your family. Don't think that you worth, your family's worth than any other family, because you know at the end of the day, my nigga, no family's above nobody, because we all lost a loved one, and the fucking, you know who's the pig, and stop, if you guys, check it, bro. It's on some sweet shit. Listen, if one organization don't mess with another one, and they say, nah, I don't mess with that, that's some bullshit. Because at the end of the day, it's stopping you from getting justice. Because everybody's supposed to be willing to help us. You know why? Because we're the story.
That's right.
Without us, they don't have shit.
That's right.
Because we are the fucking story. I'm not one of the story. So get it in your head that we don't need them, they need us. And justice for Andrew kids.
Alejandro Campos Rios.
Alejandro was a jokester. His nickname, they called him Payaso. He always wanted to make people laugh. And so when I met him, I already had 3 older kids. My 3 older kids bond with him, and that was it. And then Junior came, and then Junior was his world. Then after that, his grandkids, the grandkids came. The grandkids were his world. They couldn't do no wrong. They always went to him. They called him Papa. He didn't care if they were blood. To him, they were blood. Of course, until he had his own blood granddaughter by Junior. But he already had the 3 older ones. So when he passed, they had my second granddaughter, which was his world. He took care of her, she was born and everything. So it affected her, and it still affects her today, because she went for him. So she wrote a letter, and that's the letter that Araceli wrote and got arrested for. Even though he was a pain in my ass, I miss him. For any reason I was down, upset chose to blame other people to say that he didn't need the help. And then I told him, I said, you need to get help, if not, I can't do it anymore. And I told him I already had one stroke. So, he didn't. And that December, before he was killed, I had my second stroke. So I was in the hospital, rehabs, everything. And then I came out in February. So I was trying to go through rehab, trying to get my life back in order. That's when my blood pressure and diabetes actually clashed, and that's why I had a stroke. And then that fateful night, actually early morning, on March 6th of 2024, my life changed. When he was killed. And of course the media and everybody put it out there. He was homeless. So that was the narrative, because he was homeless, but he wasn't homeless, he was just having a hard time, I'm assuming. When I saw the body cam footage, I knew he was having a mental illness. He didn't respond the way he was acting. I knew something was wrong. And then to come find out, the McDonald's called the police to say that they were worried about their employees that were coming in for the shift, because he was doing prep. Well, that McDonald's has other entrances where those employees can enter. So I heard the 911 call, that they called the police and say that, oh, these two men are in front, seemingly they're on drugs, I have employees coming in, I'm scared that they're gonna do something to them, and yada yada, and next thing you know, there's 6 cops. No mental health crisis team came out. But then a year after that happened, all of a sudden you see this behavioral unit team supposedly patrolling. Where was that? Where were they before that? So it's just heart-wrenching that because of his death, it destroyed me. My family is scattered. I have no family. Yeah, you got some right here. So I got my DTS family. They make sure I go out. They pick me up, make sure I go to outings and get in contact with other families. It just, his family doesn't do shit, but it sure got a freaking payoff, and that's what makes me pissed off. When I asked them for help, they refused to help. But yeah, when you wanted that money. They didn't even help with the service or anything. But they showed up. I was surprised. That was the only one thing I got out of the lawyer, was to pay for his service. Because after that, the lawyer deserted me and went behind my back and forced my son to settle because he was the next of kin. And it was like, that wasn't the purpose why I got you. The purpose was to fight. You sent Alejandro to Kansas City to do a second autopsy to prove that the county was going to be wrong. And the pathologist said it was murder, a homicide, but yet choose not to fight it. They shot him 2 live rounds. And it was like, and you sit here, the chief of police, everybody saying, oh yeah, because he got tasered, he got the projectile shot at him, that's what killed him, that's what pierced his chest, and that's what died. He died. I said, no. And he bled out right in front of the entrance of the McDonald's. So when we did his 8th anniversary, I said I wanted a body. So the girl drew a body right in front of the entrance and put Alejandro Capos Rios on it. And the day he died. So like, now you got the remembrance, that a person, every time you walk through that door, you're walking over a dead body that the Fullerton Police Department killed. So I said, that's what I wanted. You wanted to actually do blood and the whole thing. We can't do private property. So that's what we did. We chalked the body, and then we did a balloon release. That was an honor for, I think it was another family, right? Who was the family that we did the balloon release? That everybody. Oh, and Tony Valenzuela, yeah. In honor of his angel anniversary, so we released some balloons. Yeah. Thank you.
No. John Collado.
Hi, everybody. Before I tell you a little bit about my uncle, I just wanted to uplift two families in New York City. One is Chantel Davis. Her sister, Natasha Duncan, was supposed to be with us this weekend, but couldn't make it. But I just wanted to lift up Sister Chantel Davis, who was murdered by NYPD officers in New York City. And also a mentor of mine, Nicholas Haywood Sr. and Nicholas Haywood Jr., who was murdered by police officers in New York City as well in 1994 when he was 13 years old. And my name is Joshua Lopez, and I'm the nephew of John Collado. John Collado was a great person, and I'm not only saying this because he was a family member of mine, but everybody in the community loved him. And I guess that day when the woman went up to him to alert him that there was a fight breaking out, she knew him and other people knew him in the neighborhood as a peacemaker. So I guess that's why she told him about a fight breaking out, and he didn't know it was an undercover police officer involved in a fight with his neighbor. And as my uncle attempted to break that fight up, he ended up getting shot and killed by the officer. But another thing is that, I look at him as a hero because he also changed my life as well. Because I was living in a path where I could have easily been in jail or dead. And, by him doing a good deed like that, trying to help and losing his life, I felt like that's what I need to start doing in life, change my life around and start helping as many people as I can. And I try to do as best as I can every day. So thank you guys. And my uncle John Collado, he was murdered in 2011 September.
Deontay Bell.
As I stand here before you all, time doesn't make it any easier. It will be 10 years, October the 29th, Deontay Bell. He's looking at me now. That Deontay Bell was shot and killed by 2 Columbus police officers while sitting in a legally parked vehicle
back 5 times. You will remain, well, at times I'm speechless. Today was a challenging day to move around from all the heavy work that we do. As I sit or stand here before you guys, I am so appreciative to the mothers that have been rolling with me for the past 10 years, which y'all should know that y'all will have support for the rest of your lives, as long as we're breathing and advocating for our children. I feel that sometimes our children, or I'll speak for my own, they fear us for what we know, and not always the things that we do. This is a vicious cycle. This is nothing new to a lot of us. I started out thinking of Emmett Till's mother from 1955 up until she just recently passed a couple of years ago. She stood knowing that her child had done nothing wrong, as we all do. And whether it was right or wrong in their eyes, it was not punishable like death. The things that we are asking and have been asking for a long time is just to be humanized. Not second-class citizens, not feared because of our skin. And so again, the will have already been invented. It's just time for us to change the road that it goes down. Yolanda, Kim, I don't remember your name, I met you yesterday. Know that you are all in my heart and prayers. My sons gave me purpose and birth. I was confused and didn't know what I would do as a young mother. And they gave me laughter, joy, heartache, and now pain, as well as purpose. In their death, and I say there because I've lost 2, I advocate in our community to stop senseless acts of gun violence, not just black-on-black crime, because it's senseless. I fight and advocate for policy change and police accountability. And we have to change our language. They expect us to change our behaviors, but how can you when they're showing the same systematic BS? I say all these things to say because with me, Birth in Reverse still gave me a cause to make a difference for the next generation, especially my grandchildren. And with these other mothers, and with all of you who unfortunately had become a part of this fight, then none of us have been part of. Let's start doing a do you know card. Did you know? Did you know this officer? Stop just saying our children's name and put the blame in the flame under their names.
going on, what happened. I had to, begin an autopsy, 2 autopsies. Darren was my detective. When something was wrong in my life, he was there. When I had brain surgery, he was there. I didn't lose Darren, I lost another son. He was innocent bastard, his name was Latrell Johnson. So I asked the Lord, I said, please don't take loving away from me anymore. I have one son left, his name is Cap. Every time we go somewhere, I stay up all night long to wait for him to come down. I didn't get to see Darren when he came home from Arizona. He moved to Arizona. He came home for 7 days. He was gone. The only day I saw him when I had to wait. So I'm praying for all the mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters in this room today. Their struggle get me out of my shyness. I met Charlotte, my sister met Charlotte. Easy came to my house, we did a walk. Also, Queen Saki. So I want to thank them for getting me out my shell. I am fighting for everyone in this room, including myself.
DeAndre Hill. Justice Howell. Antonio Lopez. Pierre Laurie. Shamir Jackson. Evan Lee. Derek Jordan. Hamoni Davis.
Hello, guys. Good morning. This is my one and only child. Kimani Davis, better known to everybody as Kodak. Kodak was my everything. Kodak, not only lost his life June 28th, well, the incident was June 28th. His friend Ershawn lost his life. 2 guys lost their lives. They weren't shot, not at all. They were just black driving in a white. They lost their lives for driving while black. The officer said that my son was going 11 miles over the speed limit. 11 miles. I got an 80-year-old mother who won't dare do under 10 miles over the speed limit. That's horrific. My son was on his way to stand here in solidarity with the mothers, the fathers, the nephews, the spouses of all those in police brutality. Now, I was mad when I found out about Michael Brown. I was mad when I found out about Twitter, but it didn't hit home yet. Didn't hit home. And every year now, since for the last 11 years, I tell you guys that thankfully are in our club, and I don't ever want you to leave. Till you never know, it may be you next. There's a lot of people that I run into who have heard me speak, and they heard me say it may be you next, and sadly they do become one of us. I thank you all for not only just not having someone in this position, but for coming up and standing beside us. You know, thank you all. Thank you, guys.
Jonathan Molina.
No more stolen lives.
Ajacia Miller.
No more stolen lives.
Yo, baby.
First of all, I want to say that the fact that you're all here is making a change. Don't think that it's not. Daisha was always joy of life. She loved family. Her favorite holiday was Halloween. Second was Thanksgiving because it made family and food. We go through life thinking that we're invincible, that nothing can touch us. Learning the painful way that things can change us. My daughter was murdered at a police officer's house at his party with his service weapon one day before her 25th birthday. So my daughter going out, celebrating her life, ended in her death. And I had to hit the ground running because they told 5 different versions of how she got shot. So I never got to do the brief. I've always been in fight mode. She should be turning 39 this year. But she'll forever be 24. 24 years, 364 days. But it prompted me